How can wool insulate your character's home? Who uses it? Boot lining? Are wool blankets good for everyone? Does your character want to make toys for their children? Learn about all of this and more on today's episode. Welcome to Writing Rule with Ellie, the Fiction Writer's Weekly inspiration station for rule life and lifestyles. From historical to post-apocalyptic, helping you bring your role stories to life. I'm Ellie, and this is episode number 84. 5 historical uses for wool. Stick around to the end to find out all the ways things could possibly go wrong. Now, let's get into this. And sorry if I sound a little bit different. I have a bit of a scratchy throat today. Number 6, upholstery. I suppose this should be fairly common knowledge with all the antique chairs that I got whipped for sitting in as a kid, but it wasn't. And if you're wondering, yes, those chairs are just as uncomfortable as they look. The first version that I can find of these are basically pillows piled together to make a sitting area. But it has advanced since then, having wooden frames and adding wool as both the cushioning and the fabric to hold it together. Plus, wool is considered hypoallergenic. This means that most people are not going to be affected by the wool, other than to crump that it's scratchy. Number 7, insulation. Wool has been used as insulation for the body since caveman times. But insulation for the home has very close timeline with this. Most nomadic people have used, and in some cases still use, wool tents. Although these tents would need to be waterproofed, likely with some type of wax, pine pitch, or something similar. Castles and even homes use wool tapestries as a form of insulation, and today there is wool insulation that can be bought at the store. Yes, I can drive down to my local hardware store that sells insulation and pick some up. There are some benefits to this. First, the insulation value of wool is very high. Much higher than most things on the market today, such as fiberglass. Second, wool gives moisture regulation. This means that it absorbs and releases moisture without losing the insulating properties. Third, it helps prevent mold growth. Not that there is no chance that there is mold, only that it helps to reduce the chance. Next, it is fire resistant. That means it has a high ignition temperature and burns slowly. So slowly that there might be a chance that it puts itself out. Last, it can last for years before it needs replaced. Bonus. For modern times, when placing this insulation, your character will not need any type of safety equipment when installing it, which is actually standard for other types of insulation. There are, however, a few downsides. First, wool moths. These moths love to lay eggs in wool, and when their larva hatches, they will eat holes in the wool. Some types of beetles also love wool. And next are the mice. Mice will love this both for the warmth in the winter, but mostly for making nests for their babies. On the modern side of things, there is cost to consider. Wool is higher priced insulation. Not only that, but it takes longer to install than the average modern insulation. And last for the modern is that it might not even be available where your character is. While it can ship to most places, it cannot be shipped everywhere, or at least shipped there for a reasonable price. Number 8, felting. Felting is defined as being matted together. That sounds weird, but let me explain. You see, felting is done by taking the wool and packing it together to make things. This is done with a felting needle. These are longer than sewing needles and have tiny little hooks along the spine of the needle to hook the wool at the fiber level and intertwine the fibers. If you're still confused, think of a wool dryer ball. That's felting. Felting can be done to make, but it's not limited to, toys, dryer balls, dolls, Christmas ornaments, decorative pom-poms, and a whole lot more. Number 9, boot liner. Wool has been used as a liner to boots since caveman times, as there are cave drawings showing this. The pros are that it is a great insulation with moisture wicking and breathability, more comfortable than other options, odor resistant, and fairly durable. But this comes with some cons too. These include, but are not limited to, maintenance. Wool needs hand washed and air dried. Some people think it is itchy. It is prone to shrinkage, and in modern times, it is more expensive than the other options. Number 10, blankets. The wool blanket has had a spot in my house for as long as I can remember. These blankets are winter blankets that are dragged out every year and are a must-have if the power goes out. Have I said that they're great insulation yet? Yes? Just making sure you're paying attention. No one knows when the first one was used, but it is safe to assume that if caveman had wool clothes and wool boots, they likely had wool blankets. But that's just a guess on my part. Fun fact! Although it is very rare, some people are allergic to wool. If you're enjoying this podcast, I hope you'll hit that follow button. Don't forget to share with a friend. And now for everyone's favorite part. Likely to go wrong. Your character insists on having wool insulation in their home because it is eco-friendly. This costs them a lot of extra money. Also likely to go wrong. Your character is using wool as an insulation and it attracts bugs into their home. Also possible to go wrong. Your character makes a felt toy for their toddler. Like the good toddler they are, they promptly pull it apart to see what's on the inside and are very disappointed. I feel like I should be making a State Farm joke now. Like a good toddler, tear it apart. Possible to go wrong. Your character puts their wool blanket up for the winter. When they go back to pull them out the next winter, they find they have holes because the mouse got into them and made nests. Unlikely to go wrong. Your character is making felt toys and accidentally stabs himself with a felting needle. Also unlikely to go wrong. Your character has a rare wool allergy, and when they sit on the wool upholstery, their bottom gets hives. Improbable, but still technically in the realm of possibilities. Your character has a wool-lined boot, and they wear it on a warmer winter day. Their foot starts to sweat, and soon their boot is squishy with sweat. Also improbable, but still technically in the realm of possibilities. Your caveman character is given a wool blanket. When they use it for the first time, they wake up covered in hives. While rare, some people are allergic to wool. Thanks for listening. Until next time, happy wordsmithing!